Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we need to talk about the special art of Lugia V. Now, it's just come out in Paradigm Trigger. We actually know, because it's really obvious, right? We know that it is going to be part of the Silver Tempest expansion over here. And we are going to have a look at the end of the video, looking at likely prices when it comes out over here. We will get to that in a moment. But for now, we need to focus on what's happening to the price, the value of this card over in Japan. Because frankly, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting a little bit silly. It is absolutely huge. Yeah, this Lugia is going silly. Now, I need to give a shout out to lovely Brace Gaming just for a moment here, because they've actually gone... Well, I was busy at the weekend commentating Lille Regional Championships, and if anyone hasn't watched that stream, do go check it out on the Limitless TCG Twitch. It's brilliant. It was an awful lot of fun. Benji and Freya were awesome, so yeah, go check it out. There was some really cool stuff on that stream. But while I was on that stream, the lovely Brage Gaming was tracking the price of this card over on Card Rush, which is one of the best sites to actually use when you're looking at this kind of thing. And the first tweet we saw from Brage Gaming was a tweet that it had sold out at 108,000 yen. That wasn't the end of the story, ladies and gentlemen, but it sold out at 108,000 yen. Now, for a little bit of comparison's sake, if we go put that into a currency conversion, have a little bit of a look how that actually comes out. 108,000 yen is equivalent to $725 or £640. That is ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, that is a huge amount of money. It actually went up, though, because just a few hours later, it sold out at 118,000 yen, which is increasing to $790, or pretty much bang on £700. And again, these aren't nebulous prices which are thrown out there trying to kind of get somebody to bite. These are actual prices that people are actually paying. It's sold out at that amount of money. That is, well, I think yowza might be an appropriate way to phrase it. That is a huge amount of money. Now, that's what was happening on day one. If we go and have a look now, have things calmed down? Have things settled down a little bit? Yes, but not a huge amount. Now, we've got 3 listings we can have a look at from Card Rush here, but we need to make sure we're very clear about them. On the one hand, listing number 3 on the right-hand side, there is only 60,000 yen, but these are by... well, they're by condition. So you'll notice in the very beginning of the description, that says condition B. And the one next to it says condition A-. They are not mint cards, which is why they are cheaper. So the real value here is the one on the far left, because the one on the far left is basically telling us this is what it goes for mint. And it is currently there at 84,800 yen, which is better than what we were seeing on day one. And incidentally, right, don't buy cards like this on day one. But you're still talking $570 or 500 British pounds. That is still a gigantic amount of money. That is a huge amount of money. I mean, if we compare that to Giratina as a nice example here, because that was the last one that went really silly, the last alternate art Pokemon. The first listing we had for Giratina was a 30,000 yen card. And that was when we were going, oh, Giratina's looking a bit silly, isn't it? That's getting a bit expensive. And it was a 30,000 yen card. It's not a Pokemon per se, but Serena went a little bit silly over on Card Rush as well. The first listing we had for that was 43,000 yen. So when we look at Lugia having calmed down after a couple of days, but sitting there as a fairly redonkulous price of 85,000 yen, yes, this has calmed down, woo yay, etc., but make no mistake about it, this is still a phenomenally expensive card, and one you're going to have to spend a whole bunch of money if you want to go and pick up. So then, of course, we go, well, okay, look, that's Card Rush. Maybe Card Rush is overselling it a little bit. Let's head on over to Mercari. Now, I've made this point many times, but let me make it again. Mercari is basically what you use in Japan rather than eBay. Yes, it exists. eBay does exist over in Japan, but generally speaking, you would use Mercari in Japan in the same way you would, use eBay over here. And if we go and have a look at the alternate art of Lugia, I am afraid, ladies and gentlemen, it's not a huge amount better. Now, it is potentially better. We do see a couple listings here for around about 70,000 yen, but here's the problem. I don't think they're quite minty. Certainly the one on the right is literally described as good condition, and we all know that when it comes to trading cards, good condition is actually basically anything but. But there's one in the middle, I probably should say. So, look, they are all there, all right? That you can pick it up for around about 70,000 yen, but in the same way that buying on eBay has difficulties with potentially finding a condition you want, so does buying on Mercari have difficulties with potentially getting the condition that you want. There are listings going up to 100,000 yen. Generally, it seems to be selling on Mercari for around about 70,000 yen, which is a little bit cheaper. That is coming in at around about $470 or £415. That's generally what you're spending if you're picking this up over on Mercari. But again, it's not guaranteeing the condition, whereas over on Card Rush, generally speaking, because they're listing these different conditions, you're having a little bit of a better luck. So, with all of that borne in mind, what are we going to be looking at when it comes out over here? Over in Japan, at the moment, it is optimistically about a $500 card. That is roughly about what we're looking at. And again, this is far from perfect, but that is roughly about what we're looking at here. So I think this is probably the point where we go and compare it to Giratina. Giratina was the last card that really blew up. I'm talking Pokemon here, not supporters. This was the last Pokemon that really blew up over in Japan. And right now, you go over to Card Rush, you're trying to buy like a minty version of it. You're looking at 70,000 yen. Yes, you will notice that is a bit more than the day one price. These things do tend to go down a bit and then start creeping up. So as it stands at the moment, Giratina is a 70,000 yen card, which is about what you're paying for Lugia over on Mercari. So if we head on over to TCG Player, and we have a go and look at Giratina V, see what we're looking at here in terms of value, we can see that it is currently trending as a $220 card. Now, it is actually showing us out of stock here, which is a little bit sad, but the last sales have all been around that, so yeah, it's out of stock, but we expect it to come back in the not too distant future and be around about $220, which is a little bit cheaper. Again, over in Japan, it's a $450, $500 card. Over here, it's a $220. Now, Lugia at the moment, it really depends where you're looking. Like I say, on Mercari, the minty version, you are looking at about 85,000 yen. Though it will go down to 60,000 for a B grade card, as they list them. Over on Mercari, you can pick them up for 70,000 yen, but I'm not 100% convinced they are necessarily the greatest in terms of condition here. And I don't think that's an unfair thing to say. Please do yell at me in the comments if you disagree. But my point here is that the Giratina price as it stands is basically the best case scenario for Lugia. And we've seen this. They generally tend to creep up. They generally tend to increase in price as time goes by, and I think it's fair to say that we might end up seeing that this Lugia actually gets worse as time goes by. And we're spending more on this as time goes by than it is at the moment. I'm not saying it will. I'm not making any guarantees. I'm giving you the best analysis I can with the best information I've got available. But I don't think it's, Lugia's gone down to about 70,000 yen in some places. That's lovely. But I think a proper minted Lugia is going to be more than that now and could creep up in the future. If you're asking me to guess, it's probably going to be about a $250 card over here. Not as bad as it is over in Japan, but not good, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly not good. Right. That's what you need to know, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's going on with Lugia, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about the value of this. Tell me what you think it's worth. Tell me if you would be willing to pay what it costs at the moment to go and get a Japanese version of this card. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel. You can get some bonus podcasts where I answer all of your questions. You can join a Discord and chat with us. And you can get shout outs on the videos, like the lovely CD Infinity, who is one of our newer supporters but is a very lovely person. So thank you very much to CD Infinity for being a supporter and for being a very lovely person. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross and you've been watching PTCG Radio.